Hello, friends. You are stepping back to the 1990s, a time when the internet is just beginning to grow. You watch two young students at Stanford, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, working on something that will change the way you search the world forever. Curiosity sparks as you follow their journey from a small garage to a global tech empire. You imagine a world where searching for information is slow and confusing. Every time you type a query into existing search engines, the results feel random and incomplete. You wish there was a better way to find the information you need, fast, accurate, and reliable. Then, you hear whispers about Larry and Sergey, two ambitious students with a bold vision. They are creating BackRub, a system designed to analyze links between websites and rank them by importance. You feel a spark of excitement. Could this tiny project actually change the world? You follow every step they take, from testing algorithms to registering Google.com in 1997 and moving into their first small garage office in 1998. You feel the energy, creativity, and determination filling the air around them. By the end of this introduction, you are ready to dive into the story of Google. A story of curiosity, innovation, and relentless ambition that will transform how you see and use the internet forever. The BackRub project begins, 1996. You step onto the Stanford University campus in 1996, and immediately you feel the hum of innovation in the air. Everywhere around you, students are bustling with ideas, typing furiously on their keyboards, discussing algorithms in study groups, and scribbling notes across whiteboards. The internet is still young, chaotic, and largely unorganized. Searching for information online feels like wandering through a labyrinth. Every time you try to find something, you are bombarded with pages that are irrelevant, incomplete, or simply confusing. You long for a smarter way to navigate this digital universe, something fast, accurate, and reliable. Then, your curiosity leads you to two young, determined PhD students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They are not like most students. While others attend lectures or socialize, they are consumed by a vision. They want to make the web a place where information is accessible and meaningful. You follow them to a small, cluttered office filled with computers, tangled wires, and stacks of papers. This is where their project, BackRub, begins to take shape. You watch as Larry and Sergey analyze web links with intense focus. Every line of code they write, every algorithm they test, every discussion they have is a step toward creating a system that can rank web pages in a smarter way. You feel the energy of their work, and it sparks your own excitement. You begin to realize that this is not just an ordinary coding project. It is a revolution in the making. Day after day, you observe their experiments. They test algorithms, measure results, and adjust their approach with meticulous attention to detail. You notice the passion in their eyes as they debate over the best methods to rank web pages. Larry's analytical mind constantly questions assumptions, while Sergey's creativity pushes the boundaries of what is possible. You are fascinated by their collaboration, the combination of logic, intuition, and persistence that fuels BackRub. You see them encountering challenges. Some experiments fail, algorithms don't perform as expected, but rather than being discouraged, they learn from every mistake. You witness their determination as they refine PageRank, the system that evaluates the importance of each web page based on the number and quality of links pointing to it. You begin to grasp the brilliance of their idea, something simple yet powerful that could completely transform how people search for information. As months pass, you see the project evolve. BackRub moves from concept to prototype. You notice the excitement building around their work among fellow students and mentors. They begin to discuss the potential applications of their system. You feel a sense of anticipation as you realize that this small project could grow far beyond the walls of Stanford. You also notice the human side of innovation. You see the laughter in their workspace, the playful debates, the sticky notes with doodles, and even small pranks. These moments of creativity and camaraderie remind you that innovation is not only about logic and coding, it's also about joy, curiosity, and collaboration. One day you see them experimenting with large-scale data, crawling websites, and testing how their system handles vast amounts of information. You feel the magnitude of their task. The internet is enormous, and yet they are determined to create a tool that can bring order to it. Every success motivates them to push further. Every failure teaches them resilience. You admire their persistence, realizing that this is the foundation of something that could change the world. By the end of the year, you notice BackRub is no longer just a student project. It has become a functional system capable of ranking web pages with remarkable accuracy. You feel inspired. You understand that innovation often starts small, in humble settings, but when combined with vision, determination, and creativity, it can grow into something extraordinary. Watching Larry and Sergey, you sense that this is only the beginning? The BackRub project will soon evolve into Google, a search engine that will reshape how billions of people access and use information. You are excited to follow the next steps in their journey, knowing that the lessons you have observed in these early days will set the stage for a global phenomenon. PageRank Development, 1996-1997. As you leave the bustling BackRub workspace behind for a moment, you feel a sense of anticipation. You know that the next chapter in this story is about refinement and discovery. Larry and Sergey are not stopping. At basic link analysis, they are ready to tackle a bigger challenge, determining the true importance of each website. You watch closely as they begin developing PageRank, a system designed to rank websites in a smarter, more meaningful way. You step into their cluttered office again. Whiteboards are filled with diagrams and equations, stacks of notes crowd the desks, and the air is thick with focus and curiosity. You notice Larry drawing arrows connecting websites on a sheet of paper, explaining how links can be treated as votes of confidence. Sergey, on the other hand, is typing rapidly, testing algorithms to see which approach works best. You feel a thrill. This is the birth of a method that will change the way people find information forever. The process is not simple. You see them running countless experiments, feeding data into their system, and analyzing the results. You witness their determination as they tweak formulas, debate approaches, and refine their calculations. Some days, nothing seems to work, and frustration hangs in the air. But you also notice moments of discovery, small breakthroughs that make them smile, laugh, and dive back into their work with renewed energy. You begin to understand the genius behind PageRank. Unlike previous search engines, which simply counted keywords, this system evaluates the quality of links pointing to a website. You imagine the power of such a tool. Instead of irrelevant pages cluttering your search results, the most trusted and important sources rise to the top. You feel a sense of awe, realizing that this seemingly simple idea has enormous potential. As weeks turn into months, you follow the project closely. You observe the meticulous attention Larry and Sergey give to every detail. They experiment with different weightings, testing how much influence one link should have over another. You notice their persistence. They rarely give up, even when algorithms fail or data seems overwhelming. You feel inspired by their dedication, understanding that innovation is built on both creativity and relentless problem-solving. You also notice the personal side of the work. Late-night coding sessions turn into shared jokes, impromptu brainstorming on coffee-stained papers, and moments of quiet reflection. You realize that their collaboration is as important as their technical skills. Larry's analytical thinking complements Sergey's creativity, and together they push the boundaries of what is possible. You feel lucky to witness this synergy firsthand. The system slowly begins to take shape. You see PageRank start producing results that are both consistent and meaningful. Web pages that truly matter rise to the top, while less important ones fall behind. You experience the excitement as Larry and Sergey run tests across increasingly larger datasets. You understand that this is no longer just a classroom experiment. It is a prototype for a revolutionary search engine. You watch them, document every step carefully, knowing that their work will soon need to scale. They begin to consider how PageRank will handle the millions of pages on the web. You feel the weight of this challenge. Balancing accuracy, speed, and efficiency is no easy task. Yet you are amazed at how methodical and inventive they are in solving each problem. Throughout this period, you notice that every failure teaches them something new. Each algorithm that doesn't perform as expected becomes a learning opportunity. You feel their resilience rubbing off on you, and you start to appreciate the patience and persistence required to create something truly world-changing. By the end of 1997, you can see the results of months of hard work. PageRank is functional, and BackRub has evolved into a tool that can rank web pages with remarkable accuracy. You reflect on what you have observed, a simple yet revolutionary idea nurtured by curiosity, persistence, and collaboration is now on the path to changing how people interact with information. You leave their office feeling inspired and energized. The journey of PageRank development is a story of patience, creativity, and innovation. You understand that behind every great technology, there is a mix of experimentation, failure, learning, and relentless pursuit of a vision. You are excited to see what comes next as this project begins to move from prototype to the foundation of Google, ready to impact millions of users around the world. Google.com, registration, 1997. After months of experimenting with PageRank, you feel a sense of anticipation as Larry and Sergey prepare for the next big step in their journey. The BackRub project has shown incredible promise, and now it's time to give it a name, a home on the web, and a vision that can guide its growth. You are present as they sit together in their small office, surrounded by whiteboards covered in formulas and sketches, brainstorming ideas that will define the identity of their project. You watch as they toss around potential names, each one reflecting a combination of creativity, ambition, and playfulness. You hear them laugh as they consider quirky ideas, some of which are too complicated or too literal. Then, they stumble upon the term Google, a mathematical term representing the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. You feel the spark of inspiration. This name captures the enormous scale of information they hope to organize and makes their vision feel boundless. They slightly tweak it, and soon Google.com is born. You can sense the excitement in the room. The name feels perfect, symbolic, and ambitious all at once. Once the name is decided, you witness the process of registering the domain. You feel the anticipation building as they type in Google.com and submit the request. In that moment, something extraordinary happens. The project that started as a series of experiments in BackRub now has a permanent place on the web. You can almost feel the thrill of possibility. This small step is the gateway to something that will change the world. As the registration is completed, you hear Larry and Sergey discussing their vision. They want a search engine that is not just functional, but transformative. You feel their passion as they talk about organizing the world's information and making it universally accessible and useful. You realize that this is not just about technology. It is about creating a tool that can empower people everywhere. You notice the details they focus on, designing a clean interface, ensuring speed and reliability, and thinking about how users will interact with the system. You feel their dedication and understand that their attention to these seemingly small choices will have a huge impact on the user experience. Even in these early days, their commitment to excellence is clear. You also see the excitement and support building around them. Fellow students, mentors, and early friends are intrigued by Google.com. You feel the buzz of curiosity and anticipation. People begin to sense that something remarkable is happening. Google is no longer just a name. It is becoming a brand, a promise of better search and better access to information. Throughout this period, you witness both triumphs and challenges. You see moments of doubt and frustration when technical problems arise or results don't meet expectations. but you also see breakthroughs and moments of celebration when the algorithms work as intended and the search engine returns relevant, accurate results. You feel the energy of innovation and the thrill of watching something extraordinary take shape before your eyes. By the end of 1997, Google.com is live and functional. You reflect on the journey so far, from the early BackRub experiments to the creation of PageRank, and now to the registration of a domain that will soon become synonymous with search itself. You feel inspired by the vision, determination, and creativity that Larry and Sergey have poured into this project. You also feel a sense of anticipation. This is just the beginning of a journey that will transform how billions of people access information. You leave the office feeling energized and excited, knowing that you are witnessing the birth of something truly revolutionary. The registration of Google.com is more than a technical milestone. It is the foundation for a tool that will influence the world in ways you cannot yet imagine. You are ready to follow the next chapter, where Google grows beyond a small project and begins to reach a global audience. First Garage Office, 1998. After the excitement of registering Google.com, you follow Larry and Sergey as they take the next big step, moving their project into a proper workspace. But instead of a fancy office or high-tech lab, you see them settle into a small, humble garage. You feel a mixture of amusement and admiration. This cramped space, with its low ceilings and modest furnishings, seems barely capable of holding their ambitious vision, but somehow it is the perfect place for innovation. To thrive. You step inside the garage and immediately notice the energy. Every surface is alive with ideas, whiteboards crowded with formulas, sticky notes with reminders and doodles, and papers stacked in chaotic yet purposeful piles. You see Larry adjusting a monitor while Sergey is sketching a diagram on a sheet of paper, illustrating the flow of their search algorithm. You realize that this space, though small, is a playground for creativity, where ideas can be tested freely and without restriction. You walk around, taking in the little details. There's a sense of playfulness everywhere. On one wall, you notice a crude out-of-office sign, an early Google Doodle celebrating their attendance at the Burning Man Festival. You smile, recognizing that humor and curiosity are as much a part of their work as coding and data analysis. In this garage, you sense a balance between intense focus and light-hearted experimentation, a combination that fuels the energy of innovation. As you observe, you see them settling into a rhythm. They work long hours, sometimes late into the night, testing code, refining algorithms, and troubleshooting problems. You watch Larry typing furiously while Sergey analyzes a spreadsheet of website links, their synergy evident in every interaction. You realize that their collaboration is a critical part of their success. Larry's analytical mind pairs perfectly with Sergey's creative problem-solving, and together they push each other to explore ideas beyond conventional boundaries. You notice the challenges as well. The garage is small, the equipment limited, and resources scarce. You see them improvising, using second-hand computers, scavenging cables, and creating makeshift desks. Yet, none of these limitations seem to hinder them. In fact, you feel that the constraints inspire ingenuity, forcing them to think creatively about solutions. You understand that true innovation often thrives under constraints. Day after day, you witness the evolution of Google in this modest garage. You see them testing PageRank on increasingly large datasets, experimenting with interface designs, and thinking about how users will interact with their search engine. You feel their excitement as each new breakthrough makes the system faster, more accurate, and more reliable. You begin to sense that this small garage is the birthplace of something that will eventually change the world. You also notice moments of human connection. Between coding sessions, you see them laughing, debating, and sharing small victories. You realize that collaboration, trust, and shared vision are just as important as technical expertise in building something extraordinary. You feel inspired by their determination, creativity, and resilience. You watch as the first visitors arrive, friends and fellow students who are curious about Google. You see their awe as they interact with the search engine, testing it, offering suggestions, and marveling at its speed and accuracy. You feel a sense of pride for having witnessed these early reactions, knowing that this is the beginning of Google's journey into the wider world. By the end of 1998, you notice a transformation. The garage, once a small and humble space, has become a hub of creativity and innovation. You understand that the environment, though modest, has allowed Larry and Sergey to experiment freely, fail quickly, and iterate constantly, a foundation that will support Google's future growth. As you step out of the garage, you reflect on the lessons of this period. You have witnessed how ambition, collaboration, creativity, and humor can coexist to fuel innovation. You realize that Google's story is not only about technology, but also about vision, resilience, and the courage to pursue ideas against all odds. You feel a sense of anticipation for what comes next, knowing that this small garage will soon be the starting point for a global empire that will touch billions of lives. First investors and early funding, 1998. After months of building BackRub and moving into the garage, you feel the project gaining momentum. The code is functioning, PageRank is starting to produce meaningful results, and Google.com has been registered. Yet, you sense that for the project to grow beyond a small experiment, it will need more than just brilliant algorithms and hard work. It will need support, trust, and funding. You watch as Larry and Sergey reach out to potential investors. You feel the tension and excitement in the air as they prepare to present their vision. This is no ordinary pitch. They are not just asking for money. They are asking others to believe in their dream, to trust that a search engine built in a small garage can someday organize the world's information. One day you witness a meeting with Andy Bechtolsheim, a seasoned entrepreneur and early visionary in technology. You notice his keen interest as he listens to Larry and Sergey explain how PageRank works and the potential of Google. You see him ask challenging questions, probing the technical details and long-term vision. You feel the anticipation building. This moment could change the trajectory of the entire project. As Larry and Sergey answer each question with clarity and confidence, you sense Andy's belief growing. You notice the spark of trust forming, the kind of belief that can propel a small startup into something much bigger. Then, unexpectedly, he writes a check for $100,000, even before Google has a formal company structure. You feel a rush of excitement, witnessing this act of faith. You realize that early investors like Andy are not just providing capital, they are validating the potential of a revolutionary idea. You observe the impact this early funding has on the project. With resources now available, Larry and Sergey can upgrade equipment, hire help, and dedicate more time to refining their search engine. You feel the energy in the garage increase as the team gains confidence and momentum. Every line of code, every experiment, and every tweak now carries the weight of possibility. You also notice the human side of this period. Larry and Sergey are humbled by the trust placed in them. You see them carefully considering each decision, understanding that with investment comes responsibility. You sense their dedication intensifying. They are no longer just working for curiosity or a personal dream. They are building a company that others have believed in and invested in. You follow them as they meet additional early supporters and investors. Each meeting is a mix of excitement, nervousness, and opportunity. You witness the delicate balance between persuasion and authenticity, how they must communicate the technical brilliance of PageRank while also conveying their larger vision for Google. You feel inspired by their ability to maintain integrity while navigating the world of business and finance. Day after day, the project grows. You see how the combination of trust, risk-taking, and support allows Google to scale operations. You feel the excitement as the small garage transforms into a hub of innovation, fueled not just by technology, but also by the belief others have in the project. You begin to understand that success in the startup world is not just about ideas, it's about relationships, credibility, and the courage to pursue bold visions. As months pass, you notice Google attracting more attention. The name begins to spread beyond Stanford, and early users start experimenting with the search engine. You feel the sense of validation for Larry and Sergey. Their work, combined with early investments, is starting to make a tangible impact. The combination of technical brilliance and early support sets the stage for Google's explosive growth in the coming years. By the end of 1998, you see a transformation not only in the project but also in the founders. You feel their confidence solidifying, their vision sharpening, and their commitment deepening. Google is no longer just a student project. It is a startup with a mission, a team, and the backing needed to make a real difference in the world. You leave the garage feeling inspired, having witnessed the delicate interplay of innovation, trust, and investment. You understand that behind every revolutionary technology, there are people willing to take risks, believe in ideas, and provide the support necessary to turn vision into reality. You are ready to follow the next chapter, where Google expands its services and begins to touch the lives of millions of users globally. Expansion of services, 2000-2005. You are now stepping into the early 2000s, a time when Google is no longer just a small startup in a garage. It is rapidly becoming a global phenomenon. You feel the excitement in the air as new services begin to emerge, each designed to make your life online easier, faster, and more connected. You realize that Google is no longer just about searching. It is about transforming the way you interact with the internet. You first encounter Google AdWords, a revolutionary advertising platform. You watch as businesses small and large suddenly gain the ability to reach potential customers with precision and efficiency. You feel the power of this innovation. Not only does it support Google financially, but it also changes the way companies think about marketing online. You see how ads become targeted, relevant, and effective, making the internet a more useful place for everyone. Next, you explore Google Images, a service that brings a visual dimension to search. You feel amazed as you type a query and instantly see hundreds of images related to your search. You realize how this transforms the way people access information. No longer are you limited to text. You can now explore concepts visually, making learning faster, more intuitive, and engaging. You understand that Google is not just indexing text, but reshaping the way knowledge is presented. You then dive into Google News, where you experience information delivered at unprecedented speed. You notice that news from all over the world is now just a click away. You feel the convenience and power of real-time updates and the ability to access multiple perspectives on a single topic. This service begins to change the way you understand the world, bringing global events closer to your fingertips and making you more informed than ever before. As you explore further, you stumble upon Gmail, a revolutionary email service. You notice the massive storage, easy search functionality, and clean interface. You feel how effortless communication becomes and realize that Gmail is not just about sending messages, it is about organizing, prioritizing, and connecting in a smarter way. You begin to see how Google's tools are increasingly integrating into your daily life, simplifying tasks that were once cumbersome and time-consuming. Finally, you engage with Google Maps, a service that fundamentally changes the way you navigate your world. You feel the thrill of exploring streets, cities, and countries from your screen. Directions become instant, travel planning becomes easier, and the ability to discover new places feels limitless. You realize that Google is now shaping not only how you access information but also how you experience the physical world. Throughout this period, you notice a recurring theme: innovation with purpose. Every new service is designed to solve a problem, make life easier, and expand your capabilities. You feel the excitement as Google grows into an ecosystem that connects knowledge, communication, and navigation seamlessly. You understand that this period marks the company's transformation from a search engine into a comprehensive platform that influences almost every aspect of your digital life. You also notice how Google maintains its culture of creativity even as it grows. You see employees brainstorming ideas on whiteboards, experimenting with new products, and continuously refining existing services. You feel inspired by the combination of technical brilliance, user-centric thinking, and an unyielding commitment to improvement. By the end of 2005, you realize that Google has fundamentally changed the Internet. You reflect on how its services, from AdWords to Maps, have impacted your daily life, work, learning, and entertainment. You feel amazed at the scale of innovation and the company's ability to continuously identify opportunities to improve the online experience. You leave this period feeling a sense of wonder and anticipation. You understand that Google's expansion of services is not just about business growth. It is about creating tools that empower billions of people globally. You are ready to witness the next stage of Google's evolution, where acquisitions, restructuring, and leadership changes will take the company into an even more ambitious future. Major acquisitions and growth, 2006-2015. You are now stepping into a period of explosive growth for Google. The company that began as a small project in a Stanford garage is now making bold moves that will reshape the tech world. You feel the thrill as you watch Google expand, not just in search and services, but across entire industries. One of the first big moments you witness is the acquisition of YouTube in 2006. You see Larry and Sergey discussing the possibilities of integrating a video-sharing platform with Google's existing services. You feel the excitement as they imagine a world where billions of people can share and watch videos seamlessly. You understand the strategic brilliance of this move. It is not just about owning another platform. It is about becoming central to how people consume information and entertainment online. Shortly after, you watch Google acquire DoubleClick, a leader in online advertising. You feel the significance of this acquisition, realizing that it strengthens Google's advertising network and expands its influence over digital marketing. You notice how these acquisitions are more than business decisions. They are carefully calculated steps that reinforce Google's vision of organizing the world's information and making it universally useful. During this time, you see Google venture into hardware and mobile technologies. You feel the excitement as products like the Nexus smartphones, Chromebooks, and even Google Glass begin to emerge. You witness engineers, designers, and innovators collaborating to create devices that complement Google's software ecosystem. You understand that the company is not just a search engine anymore. It is becoming a full-scale technology company that touches multiple aspects of your digital life. You notice the internal changes as well. Google is growing rapidly, and you feel the challenges of managing such a large organization. Departments are expanding, projects are multiplying, and the company culture that once thrived in a garage must adapt to new scales of innovation. You see employees balancing creativity with structured processes, maintaining Google's core values while embracing growth. Then comes the momentous restructuring in 2015, when Google transforms into Alphabet Inc. You feel the gravity of this change as Larry and Sergey explain their vision for a parent company overseeing multiple ventures, including Google itself. You realize that this is a strategic move to separate core services like search and advertising from other experimental projects, giving each unit the focus it needs to innovate effectively. You understand that this restructuring reflects the company's maturity and ambition to operate on a global scale while continuing to experiment boldly. Throughout these years, you witness remarkable leadership transitions. Sundar Pichai emerges as a central figure, taking over key product divisions and eventually becoming CEO. You feel the confidence he inspires in employees and investors alike as he steers Google through a complex landscape of technological innovation, regulation, and global expansion. You notice his calm, thoughtful leadership style and how it complements the vision of the founders, ensuring that the company continues to grow sustainably while exploring new horizons. You also watch the company's influence expand across everyday life. Google's services integrate seamlessly into your work, learning, and entertainment. You feel the impact of Android, Google Maps, Gmail, and YouTube on billions of users worldwide. You realize that Google is not just building products, it is shaping how people communicate, learn, navigate, and consume media. During this period, you observe how innovation and strategic vision intersect. Each acquisition, product launch, and leadership decision is a calculated step toward creating a diversified technology ecosystem. You feel inspired by the company's ability to combine bold experimentation with business acumen, and you understand that growth is as much about vision and planning as it is about creativity. By the end of 2015, you reflect on a decade of transformative expansion. Google has grown from a search engine into a multifaceted technology powerhouse. You feel a sense of awe at the scope of achievements, from acquisitions to hardware, mobile, and restructuring under Alphabet. You leave this period with a deep appreciation for the company's ability to balance innovation, scale, and purpose, ready to see what the next chapter holds in the story of Google. AI and Modern Era, 2016-present. You are stepping into the modern era, where Google's influence touches almost every aspect of your digital life. You hold a Pixel phone in your hand, and the world of Google is now literally at your fingertips. You speak a command to Google Assistant, and instantly, your device responds accurately and intelligently. You feel the power of artificial intelligence woven seamlessly into your everyday experiences. You explore how AI has become central to Google's evolution. You notice tools like Google Bard, Gemini, capable of understanding complex questions and generating detailed human-like responses. You feel the excitement of witnessing a company that began as a search engine now pioneering the cutting edge of AI. You understand that these tools are not just products. They represent a leap in how humans interact with technology, making knowledge more accessible and actionable than ever before. You watch as Google integrates AI into its core services. You notice Gmail suggesting replies intelligently, Google Photos organizing your memories automatically, and YouTube recommending videos that align with your interests. You feel the seamless way AI anticipates your needs, making your digital life smoother, faster, and more intuitive. You realize that Google's vision of organizing the world's information has evolved from search results to predictive, intelligent assistance. As you explore further, you notice how Google is competing in the global AI race. You feel the intensity of innovation as engineers and researchers push boundaries with advanced machine learning models, natural language understanding, and computer vision. You understand that Google is not just following trends, it is actively shaping the future of AI with tools that empower millions of users and businesses worldwide. You hold your Pixel phone again and ask Google Assistant for directions, reminders, or information. You notice the accuracy, speed, and contextual understanding, and you feel a sense of awe. This is the culmination of decades of innovation, from BackRub to PageRank to Google.com, and through countless services and acquisitions. You understand that AI is now a tool that extends Google's original mission, transforming how people work, learn, and communicate. You also see Google's efforts to responsibly integrate AI. You feel the company balancing innovation with ethical considerations such as fairness, privacy, and safety. You notice researchers and developers debating how to build AI that is not only powerful, but also trustworthy. You understand that in this modern era, technological capability must be paired with responsibility, a principle that guides Google's ongoing developments. You explore Google's influence on daily life, noticing how AI tools assist students in learning, help businesses analyze trends, and empower creators to reach global audiences. You feel the scale of impact. Google is no longer a search engine. It is a global platform that connects people, information, and intelligence in unprecedented ways. You realize that every time you interact with a Google service, AI is quietly enhancing your experience, anticipating your needs, and providing insights faster than ever before. Throughout this period, you witness a culture of continuous innovation. Teams are experimenting with new ideas, releasing products in beta, and constantly refining AI capabilities. You feel inspired by the company's willingness to take risks, iterate rapidly, and explore emerging technologies. You understand that Google's modern era is defined not only by what it builds, but also by how it cultivates creativity and experimentation on a massive scale. By the end of this era, you reflect on Google's journey. From the first experiments in a Stanford garage to AI-powered devices in your hand, you feel the magnitude of its transformation. Google has grown from a simple search engine into a technological powerhouse, shaping the way billions of people access information, communicate, and navigate the world. You leave this period feeling inspired and amazed at the scale, vision, and impact of Google in the modern digital era. Ending. Conclusion. You take a moment to step back and reflect on the incredible journey you have witnessed. From a small garage in Stanford in 1998, where two ambitious students tinkered with ideas on whiteboards and sticky notes, to a trillion-dollar empire influencing billions of people worldwide, you feel a sense of awe and inspiration. You realize that every line of code, every experiment, and every risk taken by Larry and Sergey has shaped the world in ways you interact with every single day. As you think about the evolution, from BackRub to PageRank, Google.com, and the expansion into services like Gmail, Maps, and YouTube, and now AI-powered tools like Bard and Google Assistant, you feel how innovation, persistence, and vision have built something truly extraordinary. You notice how Google's tools have become part of your daily life, helping you learn, communicate, explore, and create. You feel a spark of curiosity. How can you harness technology and creativity to make your own impact? You also recognize the lessons hidden in this story. Innovation requires patience, resilience, and collaboration. Risk-taking, trust, and bold ideas are essential to growth. You feel motivated to explore the tools and resources Google has created, not just as a user, but as someone who can learn, experiment, and maybe even contribute something new to the digital world. As the journey concludes, you feel empowered. You understand that great ideas can start small, sometimes in a garage, sometimes on a single computer, but with vision, dedication, and courage, they can grow to transform the world. You are ready to take inspiration from Google's story and embark on your own journey, knowing that innovation, creativity, and determination can lead to extraordinary possibilities.